Okay, thank you very much for for this challenging talk because in a no challenging time. I mean, you should have stayed home today. So especially I see so many old people here. Including me, I mean, I'm 64 years old now, so I mean, and of course there are so many better places to go this weekend. Like thank you for choosing this exhibition instead of going to Armory show or independent art show, but this is better, of course. And I have to thank Japan Society to invite me here. And I was really actually worried, because in January I was in China, and in Chongqing, which is next province of Wuhan. It was a ground zero place, no? And 2 weeks ago I was in Korea, so. But don't worry, I'm fine now. But so I flew to Newark Airport, and I was kind of really worried, and I was thinking how to explain my trip and things, and but they didn't care. They said go, and they didn't ask me where I was, and they didn't even check my body temperature, and that. Where, I mean, I don't know about my U.S. citizen, but foreigners have to check, fingerprint. And there's like glass scanners, and you have to put, fingers, and it instructed that you have to push really hard, the no sanitizer at all. so that's more dangerous, I think. But anyway, I luckily went through customs and passport control, and so I'm here now. So thank you very much. Thank you. Well, anyway, so before talking about boro, how long can I talk? Sorry, 1 hour. My talk usually lasts 3 hours, so but okay, I don't want to waste your precious Saturday afternoon. But in Japan, it's kind of a hysteric stage right now, where everybody fight for buying tissue papers or toilet papers, or especially masks. It's incredible. I see no one wearing mask now here, and all the museums are closed in Japan. I mean, lots of friends of mine, organizing a museum exhibitions have closed. I mean, why? Not many people in the goes to museum anyway, but you don't need to close, So, but no, we have to. And, so it's very nice that we have an exhibition. We can have an exhibition here in New York. And then I heard, I came here last Wednesday, Tuesday, Super Tuesday night. I arrived, and then I find out you cannot buy masks here too. So, but so everybody was. I suppose everybody is trying to buy masks here, but I still find no one wearing. So what's happening here? Maybe keep it to sell again at eBay or something. But as in Japan, you can find no mask, and in China too, of course. So young people are trying to create their own version of masks, and it's like a makeshift mask. I was really impressed, and I thought it's kind of the same spirit with boro. I don't know if you agree, but let me explain. But like a couple of days ago, one Japanese girl uploaded a tweet that she made her own mask. And that was a huge retweet. And it's this. She used she just cut her used brassiere and you can use a strap, so it's really and much better decoration and with frills and everything and the regular masks are kind of boring design, so this. And so then many people start upload their own version, like this. I mean, she's a bit exaggerating her size, maybe, but you can't see. or like this. So it's global thing now. And see, there are actually people who really use them. So this is a trend. This is a trend-setting thing, and you will find it in New York, like maybe in 2 weeks or something. And like this, so funny. See, like this. No, this is serious, like this. Oh. Well, right. So, a lot of people are checking Chinese SNS and trying to rediscover, trying to collect nice images of people's creation. Like this. This is orange. Wow. That's really eco-friendly mask, Or like this. Perfect eco-friendly mask. Or this. This is a real eco mask, So, and then you can eat. Or like this. See, that you can make yourself in your home. Or like you can do like this and this. Well, I can show it like 2 hours. Because I'm collecting the images. Or like easier version. And this. You have something like this in your home probably. So when you go back this afternoon, try one for yourself, and go out to a fashionable restaurant, I think, like this. Or I don't want to do it long, but like this. No, and dogs, and it's becoming kind of a science fiction movie, like this. I mean, I don't know if the animals get the virus, but it's so lovely, Or like it's too protective in a way, or this, and that's too much, I mean, sorry. And but this, or I don't know why there's an umbrella inside, and that's amazing. So, but I like. It's not. I didn't bring it here. It's not for joke, but I like this kind of idea. It was. Interesting creation at the time of difficulty, at the time of the very critical condition or survival. That's what I thought, that I felt when I found the boro more than 10 years ago, because it came from lowest class Japanese. So they had no money at all, they had nothing. So poor and so severe weather and everything, but they still want to do something to make their miserable life a little bit better or a little bit more beautiful. No? So, I mean, but another one more. But, you know why masks are sold out? Because this kind of guy, you don't need to do 10 masks at the same time. No? Well, so this is a reason you cannot buy. No? But anyway, so boro. Okay, as we don't have much time, let me explain about boro. No? So this red one is Aomori Prefecture, the northern tip of mainland Japan. And boro is actually from everywhere in Japan, but this collection of Chuzaburo Tanaka is mainly from this Aomori Prefecture. And there's a southern part which produced boro as well, but in southern area, you can make cotton. The cotton, the northern places you couldn't raise cotton. So, if you can use cotton, I mean you don't need to make a huge layers of clothes because much warmer than hemp. So if with Aomori Prefecture, which is too cold to raise cotton, they had to use hemp for clothes. That's more difficult, but looks more interesting in a way. And hemp was, cotton was brought to Japan from China, like I think 16th century or so. Until then, what Japanese people wear was hemp, only hemp. So it was all from 10,000 years ago, Jomon period, they used hemp as a clothes and also sacred things too. Like when you go to Japanese shrines, you have something. Sometimes you see a big rope, but which was hemp, and sumo champions wear a hemp belt and whatever. So anyway, this Aomori Prefecture is the north, and also this another the next prefecture is Iwate. So north side of Iwate and Aomori was the main area of these boro you see in this exhibition. And Aomori area was one of the very rich archaeological sites, from Jomon period, which was more than 10,000 years ago. So there are a lot of old clay work and everything. But also it has been a poorest area in Japan partly because it's too cold for farming thing, and it's very mountaineer area. So people has to work in the field and also in the mountain or fishing or do whatever they can. But it was really difficult place, and a lot of prostitutes came from that area, and if they have babies more than 3 or 4, they had to kill the babies, and the dark history is there. And still, this Aomori Prefecture has the shortest, life expectancy in Japan, because of their local food is too salty, or they drink and smoke heavily, or fast food and things. And there are one of the highest suicide rate as well. So it's really, difficult area to live. And then I found this boro. Then I found the boro 2007, I think, and then made a book called Boro. Actually, I saw the sign that this copy is on sale here, right? It's really cheap, $40. But actually, it's cheap because it's completely sold out in Japan, because the publishers nearly bankrupted, and there's no new print. It's out of stock, and you can only buy from a used bookshop, and it costs around 10,000 yen, which is like $100. So it's much cheaper here, actually. So anyway, I mean, me and my friend Yukiko Koide, who is one of the first dealer to specialize in outside art, art. And so we found this Chuzaburo Tanaka's collection, and I was so impressed. And there's a field of art called Mingei. Maybe some of you might know. It's a Japanese folk art revival thing. It's like a British folk art revival, and I don't like that. So that because that Mingei movement, like 1920s or 30s, it was a movement to rediscover people's daily, objects that everyday people used. But it also narrows aesthetics. This kind of objects is good, but this kind of objects is not good enough. So I think, in a way, it's nice to rediscover the everyday objects that no one cared. But also it narrows aesthetics. So anyway, so boro, what I was impressed about boro is it was beyond or below the Mingei aesthetics. Boro is, as Kamiya-san told you, is in Japanese it's rag or the damaged. So it's really negative sense of word. When we worked so hard and totally burnt up, we said I am boro boro, which is like a totally burnt up. So anyway, so boro had a really negative sense, and this is Mr. Tanaka with his collection of boro that I took about 11 years ago, I think. Mr. Tanaka was born 1933 or something, and so he spent World War time as a elementary school kid, and actually Mr. Tanaka's family was running a small business, so he was not that poor, but he was really into archaeology, amateur archaeologist he became. And after graduating junior high school, he started to work with his family, and at night he just went out to find more like a piece of clay work from 10,000 years ago or something. And then he was so into digging the soil. And it was a time, 1950s and 60s, a big redevelopment movement all over Japan. So a lot of archaeological historical sites were just bulldozed. So he was really, uptight, and he thought that he couldn't just work and just do what he wants at night. So he started to work in somewhere else, and at night with just a small torchlight, he started to dig the field. But then he thought it's not enough time, so he quit his job when he was 20, I think mid-20, and he just digging the land all the time. So he got a lot of collection, but he lost all the money, of course, because he didn't work. And then from archaeology, he turned his interest into people's lives. You can find what kind of clayware they used in 10,000 years ago or something, but you don't No, there's no study about what they wear, what they eat, or what was their life, like joy or sorrow or something like that. So he shifted his interest into everyday things, and then he met Boro, and so this is him and his girlfriend, he said, and I so like this. It's really beautiful, but you know, as I said, Boro had a really, really negative meaning and also negative image. You know, this Aomori area is famous for Mingei art objects like textiles, like kogin or hishizashi or beautiful art objects. But those objects are not for peasant, no? More for the middle class or upper class farmers. So nobody wants to nobody wants to think about preserving this boro, which was actually most of the farmers were using. You know, most of the farmers were living with boro like hundreds of years, but as that has a so negative image, you know, no one wants to save that. In fact, he had spent like for more than 40 years, you know, just by himself, alone, trying to collect them and save them. And still, now in Aomori area, there are so many beautiful contemporary art museums or history museums, but there's no place you can see the boro as a permanent collection. So that kind of negative image still remains there. So anyway, then I started to visit his storage several times and took photos like this. And he had been first 20 years or so, he had to collect just by himself without any help. No? And then he became a head of a local history museum. But the thing is, the local government tried to shut down the museum and then asked him to evaluate their collection to sell everything to help their finance. No? So he was really surprised and asked them, you have to keep this collection and you have to keep the museums in this local town, and otherwise it's going to lose, it's going to be scattered. So he became a head of the museum without being paid 10 years. So it's amazing. Like it was very hard life he had. I mean, harder life for his wife actually, but, because all the income he had was occasional, like lectures and or articles for local newspapers or specialized magazines or things like that. He didn't do any other job. So it was very, very hard period until the later half of his life. So anyway, I mean, I can tell you more about his life, but as we don't have time, it's like you can see this kind of many layers of hemp because it's not warm, It's a hemp linen. It's a summer clothes now, so you have to, come like a layers and layers of it to be warm. And you have seen like this kind of big mant kind of thing. It's not actually for wearing. It's almost like a futon, or blanket, because it's so cold, and every night the whole family become naked and get together and sleep inside this thing. So this is not really warm, but it's heavy. It's like 15 kilos or something, which is like, I don't know, 30 pounds or so. So it's so heavy that it becomes like blocks the cold air. So so they keep warm with each other's body temperature. So that kind of that kind of a heavy environment they have to survive. So that's why it's so big, and there are many things else. And like this is like a mattress, carpet, and sometimes in summer, they crop rice or this hemp or whatever, and they put stalks, on the floor, and then put on this, and then you sleep on top of that or something, because they didn't have tatami. Tatami was so precious, so expensive, and it's not for peasants. So they have to live on the hard wood floor or just soil, I think. And what I was fascinated was, of course, design. But so nice abstract painting kind of thing. But it's actually not, they didn't have any kind of, any kind of budget at all. It was so poor neighborhood, and they had to. I think you saw the second room have a pile. One pile of rag, piece. Patches, a piece of textile. There are merchants, who travel around and selling those used piece of textiles, and so the village will buy one piece and distribute to each family or something, and then they put whatever they have to the damaged, especially damaged area, to make it a little bit stronger. So these things, these objects use like generations and generations, like 3-4 generations, and also the thread like this, like you see white thread, and all the time they couldn't have money to buy a thread. So what they had is when they buy the used clothes patches, piece, there are some thread inside because it's used, a piece of used clothes. So I heard they put it into the rice water. When you cook rice, you rinse the rice, and it becomes a white water, and then you put it dip it into those white rice water. Then I heard that the thread will come out easily. I didn't know that, but then they just sew it whatever they want, just to keep it, make it a little bit stronger. So that's how it was not just American kilt or something more as a design. It's more like a survival. It's about how long we can use this. But that pure survival, stage. But also they want to be. They want to live with beautiful things, if they can. So that's that kind of attitude I respect, I admire, because it's not like I get this nice white piece, so I should put it here or something like that. It's more like, it's so precious. Each piece is so precious. They had to use it somewhere, but after 100 years, we see it so beautiful and fashionable. So anyway, and this is like a sack to keep crop, because it's indigo dyed. The indigo dyed prevents the bugs. So like this, and so like a shirt, and it's like a Malta Margiela or something, but it's not. And you see this because children's school uniform. and the tabi socks. And it's for the it's not only for inside the home. They put on this kind of socks and then make like a boot or sandals with a straw, and then use it for field work, because it's not really warm, but it's better. It has a better ventilation than rubber boot or something. What I heard, they told me that what was most dangerous thing is not cold, but sweat, because sweat causes pneumonia. And at that time, there's nothing you can do. You just die. So to prevent the sweat, it has to be nicely ventilated. So that's why they use this. And so it's so beautiful, like this. It's a kids thing. And this is a women's underwear. They put on this and like a skirt. And these ones are interesting. These ones are when women get old and they understand they won't live long. And I don't know how to say, they feel their time is close to over. They make this kind of diaper. So that's also nicely designed, I think. And this one, in the third final room, you see this and this small thing. They can use it as a small cushion, but also the main use was they use it to have a baby here. In the old days, this area, how do you call it? You don't have a baby on lying. There is a rope from the ceiling, and you grab a rope like this, and the baby come out on top of this. So there's like a blood and everything here, and that I think it's used like years and years, generation to generation. That's like 100, 200 baby was born here on top of it, and each summer they clean it in the nearby river. So that's like it just looked like a rag, damaged piece of textile, but it's like a crystallized memory for me. So it has all the histories and all the joys of having a baby, all the sorrows, and because so many babies that died, instantly, and they didn't live long. So everything is attached to this small piece of textile. So that was really impressive to me. And then finally, after all those years with using first field wear, and then underwear, and then mattress or whatever, and after all the time, and when you cannot use anything, they make this kind of rope from boro at the final stage, and it's long rope, and when you go out in the field for farming, you put it like a bandana, and it's like a long tail, and you put on fire the end, and so it has a smoke, it slowly burns, and that smoke prevents mosquitoes. So 200 years ago, you make hemp, and then you cut, and you make textiles, and you wear, and after generations, and finally it goes back to the soil. So it's a perfect ecosystem. So I was really impressed with that, And okay, so to make people understand the situation, about 2 years ago, when that Amuse Museum announced its closing, we talked to do some photo session. And I wanted to show how Aomori is a heavy place to live. So in the middle of winter, we went to Aomori, the area which best boro was produced, and photographed them with models. But there are no model agencies there, because it's too countryside, and no one wants to go for fashion shooting, And it's so severe weather there. And this area called Tsugaru, it is a famous place for Japanese novelist called Osamu Dazai, and maybe some of you might have read his piece. But it's so windy, and it faces Japan Sea of Japan. So the opposite side is North Korea, and it's so windy, so heavy, and so much snow, and this area is also famous for blizzard, and no tourist attractions there. So several years ago, there's a genius guy, made up idea of let's do the blizzard experience tour. And, wow, who wants to go? But a lot of Taiwanese people or South Asian people coming to Japan, they are so excited with blizzard experience. Wow! And, so anyway, I asked them to show us worst blizzard area, and we took photo like this. This is a local junior high school girl, and this is one of the original staff of Amuse Museum, and it's so. And this man is a part-time model, but usually he does a fried chicken shop there, But it's so sometimes wind is so heavy. This is like a beach side, but it's so heavy that there's no pile of snow because it's all blown out. So this kind of severe environment, they had to survive, but they had only. Imagine you have to survive there, and you only have thin textile of hemp. What can you do? I mean, it's so hard, but it's actually so impressive to me. So I was lucky that we had this kind of chance to bring the collection into the original area. So anyway, that's that's only the first part of my talk. That's the official side of boro. Okay, I have to be quick. But anyway, so it's another. Then I got a call from one of the legendary performance artists in Niigata area, and I have boro too, and take my photos of boro. He said, okay, and he's a performance artist, but his family is a famous sake brewer. So they had all the boro textile, and he made this boro and brought to Tokyo. So we went to the studio together, and this is him, and this guy is a famous midget performer. They're friends, very good friends. So anyway, we took nice photos of boro. So anyway, than this. This is part I want to do now. So this is a Louis Vuitton. No? This happened in 2013. No? It is a start of fashionalized boro, no, movement. So this, I think, spring summer collection. They Louis Vuitton used the idea of boro and made, of course, expensive piece. This, see? 4,007. Disgusting, no? I mean, it's obscene, I think. Because original boros, they use like 100 years or 200 years, but poorest people, they created this. And this is not the influence or inspiration, this is just the exploitation, no? And 4,000 people who can buy $4,700 shirts, you know, they won't use it a long time. They wear just 3 or 4 times maybe, and next season they won't, no? Because it's out of season, out of fashion now. So anyway, so that kind of thing happens all the time, and I was deeply suspicious about the fashion industry now. And like this is a stupid brand of Japan. I won't say stupid, but a creative brand. This is even worse, you know. They used the original boro and changed it into you know, jacket. So each piece is different, of course. Each piece is unique, you know. So they use this, they say blah blah blah, and each piece is you know, unique, and they have to take care, and so you know they did meticulous work so you can wear every day, and like this. I mean, you can see it, you know? And like this. You know. Oh, and look at the price. Price is 540,000 yen is about what? $5,000, no? Even worse than Louis Vuitton. I mean, so that kind of thing happens all the time, and so. Fashion business, it's so strange now. No? Like this at the same time, for example, this is from a newspaper in Japan. I was so interested. This is Okayama and Hiroshima area, is a Western Japan area. They are famous for denim, Japanese high quality denim. And there is one denim jeans company and asked the local fishers to wear their products. No? And so originally that jeans costed 22,000 yen, which is $200. It's a bit expensive, but okay, maybe. I won't buy, but that's. And then they asked all the fishermen, local fishermen, to wear them, no? For 1 year for free. And then after 1 year, they retrieved and each jeans put the name of the fisherman. And then price tag doubles to 4,000 yen. So there's an interview of those fishermen that we thought it's nice to get the jeans for free, new jeans for free. But after 1 year, the price tag doubles to 4,000 yen. We cannot understand. Huh? I cannot understand either. But it's so strange. Huh? And this, like I say, that's my favorite thing. Like this IKEA, no? $1, 99 cents. And this is Balenciaga, $2,000. So it's, Oh, and then IKEA put the ads, and this is the original, and they have shake it. If it rattles, it's original, and you can carry it anywhere. You can use it really roughly, and you can throw it into the dirt, and you can fold it, and it's so cheap, And this, that's fashion business now. It really reminds me of a contemporary art business as well, because it's so ironic and so much like an intellectual game, and I can show you more. Like this is Louis Vuitton. This is $700 sack bag, eco bag maybe. And this is Balenciaga, again, that, I don't know, $1,500 or so. And this is Celine. I don't know the price, but really expensive, I think. But, these, you have seen these designs. It's this. Or this. I mean, this costs, I think, $1 or something, I think. So this is not inspiration or anything. This is just an ironic intellectual game. And this DHL thing. Vetements is one of the fashionable brands. It costs $300. It's instantly sold out. But it's DHL. So I checked, I found photos of a DHL man. So this is actually DHL man. This is Paris Fashion Week. But it's no good. It's like a rich intellectual people looking down the working class. And this is a Fear of God. It's another New York brand. It's damaged jeans for $1,000, or this is Nordstrom. Nordstrom made fake dirty jeans for $500. It's instant sold out. It's like it looks like dirty jeans, but it's not. Actually, so you don't have to worry about the dirt. Or with your nice leather sofa won't be damaged. Or like this Chanel boomerang. It's so bad. I don't know why this kind of thing come out. So lastly, it's already 3 o'clock. I want to show you the most fashionable homeless in Japan. It's this guy called Taro, Hiroshima Taro. It's the most famous homeless in Hiroshima. Every people in Hiroshima knows him because he's in a really busy shopping district. All the time, years, 30 years or more. And when Kamiya-san and I made my exhibition together, I asked him to become an image character of my exhibition. So I invited him to the museum, and all the museum's curators, including Kamiya-san, went away because he smelled so bad, But so I myself took photos. But there's a big banner and everything. So a lot of Hiroshima people thought, "Oh, this is me, Kyoichi Tsuzuki." But actually not. But he's so fashionable, He's he's customized bicycle. He just slowly cruise around Hiroshima town, and you can see he has 2 cats here. Here, look at it. They're so so most unfriendly cat I have ever seen. Extremely brutal. It's like this all the time. But like he's so fashion with all the toys and things. See his bracelet, like yeah, vinyl tape and everything, and the punk thing. No one knows his age, but he's there all the time. If you go to Hiroshima, you'll find him on the street. But this kind of, this is like a homegrown thing. And I'm always suspicious about, I'm sorry, but sustainability and ecology or something. Because sustainability is, and the idea of sustainability, or idea of ecology, it's good, of course. But it is what you can do if you have money now, no? Because poor people cannot think about sustainability. Because they have to eat fast food. They have to wear fast fashion. No? So in this age, sustainability and ecology is for the higher half of people. But the boro, thinking about boro, it's more for the poor people, because they cannot buy anything. They have to get everything from nature, and they have to get everything from nature to eat and to wear and everything. No? And they have to think about sustainability, because they cannot buy. They have to use it for generation and generation. So it has to be sustained. So there are like two design. The intellectual design you think about, and there's a survival design. So, this collection of boro looks really beautiful and everything, and so it's nice to think, oh, this is beautiful design and everything. But for me, boro is more for the, I don't know, it's like a knife pointed at me to force me to think about the role of art or design, or especially the way we make money with art and design. So boro is like a stimulant for rethinking our own attitude towards beauty, I think. I don't know if you agree with my opinion, but for me, that's why I like design of boro, because it was created and kept by the lowest class of people, without no one wanted to save. And also Chuzaburo Tanaka, he was the only one to try to collect. He devoted his own whole life to save this, but he was a really self-taught amateur field researcher, so academic people neglected him all the time. There's no financial help or nothing. He spent his own money. And if we don't have Mr. Tanaka, we might not see boro, because I have to finish now. But boro, it was not. He just cannot. He just couldn't go to mountain village and ask for boro with money. Because the boro was really negative thing. So all the family, it was hidden thing, like especially like a grandmother had a lot of memories with boro, but their sons and their kids don't want to just throw away because it's a negative memory of their lives. So they just hide all the boros, and Tanaka-san went there like 10 years and 20 years to become friends, and finally, like an old lady come out and oh, I will take this boro with you because when I die, my kids will throw this away. So that's how he collected. So it's no official thing, no? And so in a way, like outcast people created boro, and outcast field researcher, saved boro. So I want to, I don't know, I want to, no, I don't want to forget this spirit of everyday people. So I hope you, if you have a time to go walk around again, and maybe you can look at the collection with different point of view. Thank you very much for listening.
How do you clean these ancient things like the piece of cloth where the babies were born?
Yeah, I wonder that too. And Tanaka-san said that it was so dirty with years and years. So he brought them back to his house from mountain villages, and usually he said he used a bathtub, no? to lukewarm water and dip it and everything. Not one time, but you can put it in the machine. So many times he has to dip it in the bathtub, and of course that made wife really angry. So that's the only way. I think people, when they use it, they rarely wash it, I think, because it's too precious, and this kind of thing, it's only one in the family, I think. So if you wash something, it becomes weaker in a way. So they didn't wash themselves so much, I think, at that time. No one had a bathroom. Because, actually no one has a toilet, I think, at that time, because all the urine and everything, they use it as a fertilizer. So it was pure ecology, in a way, recycle. Yeah, actually, I heard from Tanaka-san that they used to use horse a lot, so for transportation. If the horse stopped in front of your house and poop, and it was really lucky. They just got it because it's the best fertilizer. So that kind of life they spent, I think.
Hi. Any other person? Please raise a hand. Okay, sorry. Please wait. Yeah.
I'm really curious about the design of the garments. A lot of them seem to have a similar cut or shape to them, like the futon that you were mentioning. Did they have like standardized patterns or something? And also the tools that they were using, did they have like needles that they would share? I'm curious about that.
Have you seen the exhibition already? Did you see the second room with socks? Did you see that like a one set of small textile patch? That's usually how they get materials. So it depends on what kind of rag they could afford. So it's not like they didn't cut or anything for design. They had to use all of it. So it depends on the source. And of course, they didn't have any precious tool. I think the only thing they had is a needle. And is it the answer to? Did I answer your question properly? Yeah. Thank you.
Maria is the second row. Yeah.
Yes, you.
Wait. Yeah.
What I would call the sleeping coat that was that something that was added to as they would find more material and create more
Yes.
layers?
Exactly.
And that
exactly.
would be a generational, or would that just be an ongoing process?
I heard they use like 3 or 4 generations. No? That's why from the damaged part you can see the layers or like a millefeuille cake or something. No? It was I mean put on top, and especially damaged part. It's like piles. It's like I don't know. 100 years or 150 years or so. Like, whenever they have something, they just put it on. Yes.
Can you for the
Are the pieces that we used as patches, were they generally not with holes or starting with holes? Well, we see some where the whole patch was shreds upstairs.
Yes.
Yep.
And what is the question? Sorry.
It's more your comment on the
Shall I ask?
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm asking is, when pieces were added, were they pieces that were already shredded or full of holes, or were they pieces that were solid?
もともとちっちゃくなったのか、もともとお裁縫できるようにできていた。
No, I mean, there, it used to be there like traveling merchants, from central Japan area to those mountain villages, and what they sell was not a complete piece, that like a piece of used clothes. So that's why usually it's so small. So they can use whatever way they want. So never they could buy like a roll of a new textile. So that's why some pieces they already have some thread. So they can use thread too. Sometimes as it is, sometimes as I said, sometimes they can take out the thread as well and to put it again, and so it was really elaborate. But they never cut or anything for design.
So the last question, from you.
Hello, I would
Yes.
like to know if it was only women who were making these fabrics, or if it was a family.
Good question. Yeah, thank
activity.
you. It was really women's business, I think, because it's not a housewife. It's not a housewife because everyone has to work in family. All of them go out in the field in the daytime, and then they come back. Of course, they didn't have a electric light or anything, so it's kind of dark in the house, and everyone so tired with all day's work. But the women had to wake up and just do it in usually a night time, or when it was really snowy and you couldn't do anything. So it was most of them. It's nice because most of these things you can see were created by peasant women, not men. So it was really, in a way, it's really women's culture, I think. It's nice to be asked. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody to stay this afternoon. And thanks again to Tsuzuki-san